everybody, it is Coach Paul here from Rise Above, and I'm here to teach you how to do a push-up the right way. Now, due to the whole quarantine situation that we're currently dealing with, push-ups is going to be a staple in your at-home workouts. Why? Because it doesn't require any equipment. And more importantly, there's a lot of progressions that you can make with a push-up before even getting into a regular foot and hand position push-up like you're used to seeing. There's a lot of things you can be doing in between that can kind of get you to a state of getting to a push-up better. Now keep you in mind, the things and the cues that I'm about to give you are going to make your push-up feel a lot more difficult. But that's okay, because as long as you continue to put in the work, putting in proper form, you will eventually get to the point where you will become strong enough to perform all the way to the floor push-ups from your feet and not from your knees. Now keep you in mind, I'm going to show you a couple of progressions and things that I want you to be thinking about through this whole video. So the first thing I want to talk about is head, shoulder, and arm position, or the upper body, the portion of your body that's actually moving. Now, whenever I see people doing push-ups, I always see flaring of the elbows at like a 90 degree at the armpit. That's going to be a guaranteed way for you to injure yourself. So when you're setting up for a push-up, and keep you in mind, there's always the variation of the push-up where it's triceps, where the elbows stay super tight to the body. But in order to make this a chest-focused push-up, we want to make sure that we're flaring our elbows at about a 45 degree. The reason being is it's a lot easier to contract your lats that way, and if you recall from a lot of our other videos, packing your lats is going to keep your shoulders super safe. So when you're going down into that push-up position, right, you don't want to think elbows flare, but you also don't want to keep them super tight either. You got to find this nice balance in between where it's coming at like a 45 degree angle when you start to bend. The next thing you're going to want to think about is ribcage and pelvic engagement. So we want to make sure we stay connected through our core while performing our push-up. One of the ways I can tell if my clients are not engaging their core is that when I set them up into like a kneeling plank, their shoulders move separately from their hips, or their hips don't move at all. Well, if you're creating engagement through here, everything is then forced to move at once, where if you were to separate out that engagement, it kind of looks like you're just doing, shoulder push-ups, which really isn't a thing, and it's not going to progress you anywhere. So when you're going to set up, you want to make sure that you squeeze your butt and keep your rib cage down and squeeze your abs. It's almost like you're doing a straight arm plank prior to you even moving your elbows. The last thing you're going to want to think about is making sure that you go all the way to the floor. The reason being is, and one thing that people don't realize, is that the distance in which you are displacing your body or moving your body through is going to play a role in how difficult your movement is. Well, with a movement like push-up, you can only go to the floor. So you always want to make sure that you maximize that distance first before coming up off the knees. Now, basically some things, and I'm going to go over this one more time, from your knees. Okay, we want to make sure that you're in that plank position. We're not in that tabletop position. Okay, we're taking our middle finger, it's pointing forward. We're rotating our shoulders down and making sure they stay back. Glutes and core are engaged. And then you will lower yourself all the way to the floor first, and then press yourself back up. Now let's say you're somewhere in between a kneeling push-up, where kneeling push-ups are too easy, but foot push-ups are too hard. One of the ways I progress my clients is to go down on your feet, up on your knees. So you're loading up your body eccentrically, squeezing glutes and core, coming all the way down to the floor, but then you come up on your knees to then reset, and then pop up onto the feet, and then repeat your movement. Now, this is what I kind of call the in-between push-up, somewhere in between, knee bending and on your feet. Now, let's say you have a limitation and you can't get on the floor. I know a lot of my friends who I work out with here don't have that ability, so what would be the next best option? The best option for you would actually be put your hands on something like your bed or a table or a chair or something to put your body at an incline. When you put your body on an incline, it becomes a more easy type of push-up. That being said, your progression would basically be to work your way down on that incline and eventually work your way all the way to the floor. This has basically been our very brief push-up tutorial. Implement this, these tips into your workout today. They will go a long way to progressing you from a kneeling push-up to a foot push-up and making sure that you keep your shoulders safe while performing your movement.